So if you're walking into community management interviews and telling the hiring manager that your main goal is to make their members feel happy and safe, then you're instantly telling them that you are a more junior candidate. I know that sounds harsh, but it is the reality. So I'm going to show you the shift that you can make, whether you are actually a junior or a senior, to stop getting stuck at lower pay or lower quality value roles and start seeing your career push forward. And the crazy part is you don't actually need tons of experience. You just need to be able to change your language. So the reality is many community managers think that their main job is to just make the members feel happy and that's where they're hired. Now, obviously, that is a really big part of the role. We're never going to exclude that. It's really important. But that's not why businesses actually hire you. Businesses hire based on what they benefit from, and there's a lot more than just keeping their members happy. They're not investing in a community manager just to simply create a positive outlook or positive interactions. Again, it's important, but it's not the reason. They are investing so the organization reaches wider goals. Now, it's really the biggest difference between thinking as a junior community manager and a senior community manager, and it makes honestly, it makes such a massive difference. I used to work with a community manager who was absolutely amazing, but I have seen her get undervalued because she was showing up talking about how she's made these members happy and feeling supported because she thought that was the most impactful, which, yes, it's very important. But to the business, they're just kind of like, well done, that's great. Here are all the other things that we need. So if you don't understand what the business is actually trying to achieve, then hiring managers will see you as like operational support instead of someone who generates the revenue and makes a big impact and is really needed for that role or within that business. But you would be surprised by how many seniors aren't quite aware of that. And although they do have the ability to 100% do that, they just don't communicate it, which just limits them so much. So if you're a junior, let's give you a head start. And if you're a senior, let's fix it. So what do businesses actually care about? Businesses invest because they believe it's gonna produce like measurable value. So that value depends on the organization. I think that's why a lot of us get a bit confused. Because it's just highly dependent on the specific organization. For example, maybe you're going to work for a SaaS company, so software for service, and maybe their main goal is to make sure that their members stay subscribed to their product, which probably is very much linked to retention. And you as a community manager would need to think about strategies of how to keep the retention in the community and therefore also retention in the subscriptions. They might also be looking for product feedback and support and improving the product. Another example might be education. If you work for an organization which focuses on education, maybe their main goal is very much seeing the success, improving the success rate of the students. So overall, commonly it could be keeping customers longer, improving product decisions, making more sales just in general of something very specific. Maybe even saving time. So you don't have to be a senior to think strategically, but you do need to show that you understand what they're looking for and why the role exists and what you will do well. So if the hiring managers see that you understand like what they're looking for and how the engagement will actually translate into what they're thinking, then they see you as someone who understands the role at a deeper level and is valuable to hire. So now we understand the difference between junior and senior thinking. Like, how do we actually show this in our CV, in our interviews? So most candidates describe what they did, but the best candidates, most strategic senior candidates, describe what changed because they did it. What impact did they make because they were there? Hiring managers aren't assessing you based on how much effort you put into something, how much activity you put into something. Weak communication focuses on the effort and strong communication focuses on the impact. And this is a really interesting thing because the best community managers are able to implement strategies which take the littlest effort over time and make the biggest impact. So here's a really simple formula to help you communicate yourself. So use this structure: what you did, how you did it, but briefly, what changed, by how much, and over what time. Now, you don't need to go into how you did it in tons and tons and tons of detail. It's not a tutorial. And sometimes you don't actually need to show how you did it. I'll show you an example in a minute. If they ask, then share more. So let's look at some real examples. So a non-optimized junior statement may be something like this. And again, these are based on my own experiences. So I managed a Discord server and kept members engaged. A value-driven or senior statement might be something like, I increased overall engagement by 65% in just 5 months by introducing a weekly event program and discussion strategies, which allowed us to partner with sponsors like Adobe, generating consistent revenue. That is the exact same work. It's just perceived differently. Now, sometimes to simplify it, you can cut out the how you did it. So for example, I increased overall engagement by 65% in just 5 months, which allowed us to partner with sponsors like Adobe, generating consistent revenue. So that's a little bit shorter, but the reason why you might keep something and might cut it out is if it's relevant to what they're asking for. Like, did they ask for specifically maybe an events program? Or what did they ask for? How can I show that I'm linking to like what they're asking for as well? And if they didn't ask for it, then cut it out. And I remember, like, impact is not just created in community management roles. Like maybe in the past you've been in a different type of role, have different experiences, or maybe even volunteer work. You can demonstrate impact from any different role. It doesn't have to be a community management role. You just need to show what changed because you were there. What did you improve? Just make sure to connect it back to the role that you're applying to or the point that you're making. So stop talking about your chores, stop talking about the effort that you're putting in, stop talking about just simply making members feeling happy, and start talking about the impact and how you would benefit them. Whenever you're describing something you did, think what changed in the company because I was there? Why did they need me? How was I impactful? So if you're currently looking for roles and you're not 100% sure why you're not securing one right now, then I've made a free quiz for you and it's linked in the description below, so you can find it there.